Now then, we have a delightful whiskey on the table today. This is a blended grain whiskey from Compass Box called Hedonism. It's one I've had a few times before and I've always enjoyed it. It's a consistent 8.5 out of 10 whiskey for me. Is this one you've tried before?
They're legendary, Compass Box. They describe themselves as whiskey makers. They're not distillers, but they're more than blenders. They're effectively blenders, but they buy in mature stock and then they blend it either as blended Scotch or as blended grain in this case.
Yes.
Do they do any single malts? I'm not sure, but if they do, it's very small.
Yes, it's a very small.
They're intensely creative.
Absolutely. I think for many years they've sort of pushed the boundaries.
They have. They've got into trouble with the SWA about it, pushing the boundaries beyond what the SWA
Yes, exactly.
Like.
I think the emphasis has always been on flavour and creating something new. Grain whiskey and blended grain whiskey is very rare.
Very uncommon.
Very uncommon. But
I mean, grain whiskey is becoming a tiny bit more, but it's a fraction of the malt whiskey, let alone blended Scotch. Hedonism is an interesting name. You know, when you're doing analytical tastings, there are two kinds: what they call hedonic and analytical. And so hedonic is subjective, and analytical is objective. It's more scientific. You know, and so this is. They're boldly saying this is simply to be enjoyed, which is what we're about to do.
Absolutely, it's a fabulous dram. Shall I do the honours? Let's open this up. Let's do it. Why not? It's, as I say, it's a consistently beautiful dram. Grain whiskey is, how do you describe? In a word, gentle, subtle. Would you say?
Lighter in style than malt whiskey. But the interesting, there are only, at the moment, there are only 8 grain whisky distilleries in Scotland, I think. And but each makes a different style of spirit, very subtly different. But each is different. This one doesn't bear an age statement, and it will be a mix of grains from 2 or 3 distilleries, I would guess. And it's got a deep colour. They don't go in for colouring up. So it's telling me this is American oak, clearly, and first fill American oak, I would guess. Look at this gorgeous golden colour.
Yeah, it's vivid, isn't it? I think it was Compass Box have always been very keen to give the consumer as much information as possible.
They are.
Obviously, as blenders or whiskey makers, they have nothing to hide. So they've had this campaign for a while for full or as maximum transparency as possible. Hedonism, they've done various batches over the years. Compass Box has been around since the year 2000, I think. And on their website, it's fascinating. So each batch, they list the different components of the blend. So what, whether it's predominantly Cameron Bridge or Port Dundas or whatever. And I think I'd assumed the recipe would be more or less the same each time because the whiskey tastes the same. But I was shocked by how much it varied, which perhaps shows the skill of John Glazer or whoever whoever's in charge. But it's I say a consistently lovely job. So on the nose, is there any
very mild, mellow? What strength are we at here?
This one is not. I think it's 43. I think
43.
43%. So I'd say water probably isn't
necessary.
Isn't really necessary for such a smooth.
It's very mild. It's mellow. It's rounded, and of course, it's lightly oaky.
Yes.
And I'm getting, as I would expect from American white oak, vanilla, perhaps fudge, sort of vanilla toffee.
Yeah, it's just very soft, very gentle. I think grain whiskey, the common criticism, if you like, is that it's quite simple and one-dimensional and a bit boring. But you can tell they've used fantastic casks. First fill ex-bourbon American oak, we'd assume. So all those, luscious honey, vanilla flavours in abundance.
I'm not actually getting honey, but there's a sweetness to it.
Yeah, but there's nothing.
Maybe spun honey.
Yeah, nothing off-putting at all, is it?
Sweet and centre palate with considerable spice, actually, as you swallow. Yeah, surprising, and an oaky aftertaste. Oak shavings.
Absolutely. I think, as you say, they don't state the age. I imagine that's to give them the flexibility to use different casks of different ages, but I'm sure if I was to hazard a guess, perhaps an average age, I'd say what, 10, 12, maybe verging on 15.
I would guess.
And that
I must say I'm surprised by the spiciness. It really is very lively. I imagine it'd make it'd be a good base for a cocktail.
Yes.
You know, whiskey sour or something like that.
Absolutely. I've heard that it's for people who are used to bourbon, but have not kind of dipped their toes into the world of Scotch yet. This is often a very good introduction.
Well, that's because bourbon, exactly, similar flavour profile, this oakiness. Pencil boxes now.
But it's just that mellow character. I hate using the word smooth to describe whiskey, but it's very, very mellow. Goes down so gently. There's obviously no smoke, no peatiness. No. A hint of that spiciness to keep you interested. But it's an absolute
easy drinking any time of day.
Absolutely. But it doesn't feel cheap. It doesn't feel simple. It doesn't feel basic.
No.
Layers
complex, interesting.
Of complexity. It's an absolutely stunning drop. And I think it's a great example of what Compass Box are all about. Kind of perhaps bringing new types of casks or new grain whiskey in this sense, bringing it to the fore.
And the final thing that I would say, Laurie, is that their labels are absolutely brilliant. All designed by Stranger and Stranger in London. And they are the most original and exciting labels of any whiskey. They're sensational. Worth going to their website just to see some of the labels, actually.
Yeah, what I say, you taste with your eyes.
Yes.
First of all, so it's always a brilliant start.
Vanilla cream in the aftertaste.
But yeah, an absolutely stunning drop, and one I'd always happily go back to. I'd say.
Absolutely.
Yeah, beautiful.
Great.